Hello guys, hope you're good. Welcome again to my channel. This is your guy Paul, Haven Foods. And guess what guys, today we are going to discuss about top 5 African road trip hacks. Top 5 African road trips hacks. Remember, I just concluded my trip from Kenya all the way to South Africa, and here I'm going to give you the top 5 trip hacks to make your next trip as smooth as possible. So sit back, relax. This is going to be one of the short videos, so you better make sure you watch all of it. And actually guys, tip number 5 is the best in this whole list, so you better wait and watch that tip number 5. So without much further ado, let's start with tip number 1. Tip number 1 is preparation perfection. Now, what do we mean when you talk about preparation perfection? That is, what you simply mean is that this is whereby you are supposed to master all the pre-trip vehicle checks and all the off-road readiness. Now, in my trip, the first thing that I did was to do full car service. When I talk about full car service, I talk about changing brake pads. Make sure you have new brake pads. Make sure you do an oil change. Make sure you clean your car well, especially the windshield. Make sure, you see now in most vehicles, they have grease on the windshield coming from the spills from the road when it rains. So you better make sure that your windscreen is well cleaned so that you can see, it can be able to improve your visibility in case you are going to come up, in case you are going to come across rainfall. Also, something else when it comes to vehicle pre-trip inspection, you also need to check the health condition of your gearbox, the health condition of your engine, and any other aspect of your vehicle. Okay, something else that you need to know about the preparation perfection is strategic parking. This is whereby you're supposed to utilize the space that you have, and also whereby you are supposed to come up with durable storage solutions. For example, in my case, I use a Nissan X-Trail. Nissan X-Trail is one of the robust vehicles when it comes to space. It has a very huge space. Now, let's assume you don't have an SUV like Nissan X-Trail, and let's say you have a saloon car. I have seen another YouTuber. They went there using a saloon, a small hatchback, a Subaru. And there were 3 of them, and they were able to park. But one of the challenges that I saw, and by the way, kudos to that team, they did an amazing job. They inspired me a lot. And one of the challenges that they faced, especially when they arrived in South Africa, was the space storage. They had carried way a lot more than they needed, and along the way they bought more. So that's a challenge. So to make sure you have a smooth trip as you do the whole of Africa trip or anywhere else in the whole world, just to make sure you carry what is necessary. Carry your essentials. Don't carry everything. Don't carry all the clothes. If possible, when you're having stopovers at major towns, you can do laundry. And in most guest houses they offer laundry. And if you are lucky enough, you may find a washing machine and a dryer in the accommodations that you're going to book along the way. Okay. Something else on the same, we talk about your map, your navigation. That is, we talk about something that you need to do. You need to make sure you download an offline map, which is very crucial because along the way you're going to lose signal. Like for example, let's say in my case, I traveled from Nairobi, Kenya, all the way to South Africa. Along the way, especially when we entered Tanzania, remember Tanzania is one of the very big, it's a very big country. So there were some regions where there was no network coverage. Some regions had no network coverage. So what I would advise you is, before you leave your home, when you have strong internet, when you have strong Wi-Fi, just make sure you download an offline map. You can be able to download an offline map all the way from Nairobi to Cape Town. With this one, you really don't need network. It's just going to position itself with a satellite, and it's just going to direct you straight to where you are going. So make sure you do have that. Now, point number 2. Remember I told you I'm going to give you 5 tips on 5 trip hacks, how to make a successful road trip from your country all the way to your destination country, and in my case from Nairobi, Kenya, all the way to Cape Town, South Africa. Tip number 2 is navigation. Navigation, this one I have already touched it in the tip number 1. This is whereby in every country you enter, please make sure you buy a local SIM card. You can do roaming, but don't rely on roaming alone. Make sure you buy a local SIM card. This one you're going to find it in every border crossing point, except the only country we had a challenge when it comes to buying a SIM card, that was in Namibia. Namibia, they don't sell, maybe you can correct me on the comment section, but I noticed that in Namibia they don't sell SIM card away from the service provider. That is like you have to go to the service provider offices. That is where you're supposed to fill 1,000 forms. When I mean 1,000 forms, I don't mean literally 1,000 forms. I'm just using that word to mean the number, the huge number of documents that are required for you to get a local SIM card. But other countries like Tanzania, the border country to Kenya, it was quite easy, quite seamless. There were so many agents there on the border. They were selling those SIM cards. Make sure you get a SIM card, and before you buy a SIM card, please do a research which is the best network provider in that country, the best internet provider, internet provider in that country. For example, now here in Kenya, we have Safaricom, we have Airtel, we have Equity. Does Equity work? Not sure about that. We also have, I think we do have Orange. Now, if you are a foreigner coming to Kenya and you want the best internet, the fastest internet, and the most reliable network, I would advise you to buy a Safaricom SIM card. This one you can also even register for M-Pesa, whereby you're going to do local transactions, because like 90% of local transactions in Kenya, they are done through mobile payment. That is simply M-Pesa. So in every country, like in TZ I saw it was MTN. They do have Airtel, but I saw MTN was the best. That is as per my this is as per my experience. I preferred MTN to Airtel, so you can just come up with the one that you can just do your own research and see the one that suits you. Also in Zambia, I think Zambia also MTN. Zambia, I think MTN. Botswana, which one did we buy? We didn't buy a SIM card in Botswana because we were only there for like a day. Yeah, I think a day. Botswana is quite a small country. We were able to traverse Botswana in just a day. Yeah, we only slept in Francis Town, so we saw no need of buying a SIM card. In South Africa, we bought one. Okay, someone told us Orange was the best, but we didn't buy Orange. There is another one that we bought. I can't remember the name of that company, but it was not MTN. So you really need to buy a local SIM card. They are very cheap. Then also something else, you need to leverage on the community sourced road conditions update and real-time alerts. Now, for example, if you travel in Africa during the long rain seasons, that is between March all the way to March, April, and maybe a bit of May. That is when we experience the wrong lanes. That is in the tropical countries. You really need to consult the locals. Remember, this one may not be shown on your navigation, that is on your map, Google Map or whatever map you're using, but you need to consult the locals in that area, whereby they will give you real-time information. Maybe they will tell you there is a bridge that has been washed away, there's a road closures because of floods, or maybe they are going to expect a huge storm. Like when we arrived in Cape Town, we were warned there by the host, where we spent the night. They told us that in Cape Town they were going to experience a huge storm the following day, because you see they have all the weather forecast. Remember, even right now on Google there is the weather forecast, whereby you can be able to just know what is going to happen in the next 1 week, the next 1 month or 2 months from now. But the locals, they have more accurate information, and true to the words, the following day we experienced a very heavy storm in Cape Town, and that made everything like difficult. We were not able to climb the Table Mountain, which was our main goal. But because of the because of the storm, we were unable to do all that. Then something else, you also need to learn some basic local phrases for seamless interaction and problem solving. Now, in most Southern African countries that I traveled, English was one of the official languages in those countries. So that means it made the conversations as simple as possible. But remember, in some countries like Congo, some in the West African region, Angola, I don't know what is the national language in Angola, they don't speak English. Some speak French, and someone like me, I don't know French, but you need to learn some of the basic ones. Like here in Kenya, majority, like almost 100% of the Kenyans, they speak Swahili. So if you're coming to Kenya and maybe you come across a remote community that they don't understand English, you need to learn some few words, some few Swahili words. For example, habari meaning, habari means how are you? Yes, habari yako, how are you? Nataka, I want, maji, water, and etc. Okay, so you really need to learn a few words here and there. Like if it's in South Africa, you need to learn a few words, the Zulu, the Basotho. If it's in Botswana, the same thing, Burundi. Burundi, by they don't speak English. They speak which language? Maybe we can put it there on the comment section. Now, we move on to the tip number 3. Remember, tip number 1, we have said it's preparation, perfection. Tip number 2, navigation. Tip number 3, we talk about safety and survival survey. This is very important. This is what is actually going to affect you as a traveler. It's going to affect you. Now, when you talk about safety and survival survey, this is whereby we are going to talk about you assembling a robust emergency kit. When we talk about emergency kit, we talk about emergency kit in medical, in mechanical, and in communication. Just a small elaboration. In medical, you know your health condition, you know your health status. That is, if you are diabetic, you really need to carry the testing kits. Those portable testing kits for diabetes, so that you can go monitoring your sugar levels. If you suffer from high blood pressure, you need to carry those the emergency, those ones that are placed on your arm that measure your blood pressure. You really need to carry what is needed. If you know you have another medical condition that you need medicine, you need to make sure you pack that medicine with you. Then there is also the first aid kit. That is where you need to have a band-aid. Is it called band-aid? Band-aid or bandage? Whichever. You need to have that one. You need to have painkillers. You can buy paracetamols. You need to have antihistamines. That is, you can buy like cetirizine, celestamine. Is it celestamine? I don't know. You need to buy anti-diarrhea medicine, because trust me, you're going to experience food poisoning. You're going to have a very serious diarrhea. So you really need to buy anti-diarrhea medicine like loperamide. You need to buy the food poisoning medicine, and any other medicine that you may deem necessary for you. And if possible, you can carry flavored water. This is water that has what do we call it? That has electrolytes. Remember, during these long drives, your electrolytes are going to drop. They are going to drop, and you start feeling very tired. You'll feel your body all relaxed. You'll feel your body like you don't want to do anything. You feel thirsty. You take a lot of water, and the thirst is not, you're not quenching your thirst. So what you'll be suffering from is your electrolytes dropping. So you need to buy liquids that have electrolytes. You can buy, I think, sodium chloride. Yes, sodium chloride. That is alkaline. It's alkaline. You need to have that one. You can get sodium chloride by there from salt. So if you feel your body is weak, you can just take a pinch of salt, and maybe you can, what do you call it? You can hivyo vile nafanya. You can do that actually. Sodium chloride. You can take what else? You can, something that is a bit sugary, you can have it. And etc. Okay, so you really need to make sure you carry your medical emergency kit, your mechanical kit. Like in my case, I made sure I carried a complete mechanical kit. This is whereby you have your spanners, all the spanners, right from number 8 to maybe depending with the vehicle that you are driving. For example, I used the Nissan X-Trail. It's a JD, is it called JDL or JD something? It's a Japanese vehicle. That means the most common spanners is spanner number 10, number 12, number 14, number 18, number 20, number 22. Though you're not going to use all of those, but make sure you have the important one, which is number 10, number 12. Number 13, not that much for the Japanese vehicles. Make sure you have, if possible, make sure you have an impact wrench. Make sure you have a wheel spanner. Make sure you have a life saver, those triangles. Also, make sure you have a pressure kit, that pump, that portable pump. Make sure you have that, and if possible, have a puncture repair kit. Puncture repair kit cost around 700 Kenya shillings or simply $5. Just make sure you have that. What else? Yeah, in terms of a mechanical kit, make sure you do have that. And in terms of communication kit, if you are driving and you are like 2 or 3 cars, two or more vehicles, make sure you carry a walkie-talkie. That one, the one that does not require network, your local network, just uses, I don't know whether it uses or satellite or what it uses. Make sure you have a walkie-talkie so that if you are in regions that don't have network coverage, you can be able to ask for help. You can be able to you can be able to communicate with your other vehicles behind you or in front of you. Or let's say if you are lost, and when you're buying a walkie-talkie, we have those advanced walkie-talkie that have a network coverage of over 10 kilometers. Make sure you have those. At least have something that has a wide network coverage, so that even if you are lost in the wilderness, let's say you went to do a game drive, you can be able to reach your friends through the channel you agreed, and they can be able to rescue you. Okay. Something else, another point, we are still on point number 3. Yeah, that is safety and survival survey. You also need to understand wildlife encounters and safe driving practices in animal territories, especially when you are driving in Botswana. There were so many elephants. I think Botswana is a country with the highest population of elephants. There are so many elephants on the road. Like wherever you drive, you're just elephants on the road. That is, I'm not talking about towns like Francistown or Gaborone. No, I'm talking about the vast land. Huge, like there are herds of elephants. So you really need to know how to drive. And the best thing, I would advise you to drive daytime. Avoid driving at night, especially when you are in a foreign country. Just avoid driving at night. Drive during daytime so that you're able to see animals like elephant. Remember, elephant does not have a reflective path. You're not going to see the elephant being reflected. So the best thing you can do, drive at daytime so that you can be able to spot an elephant from far. And in elephant crossing zones, make sure you keep a speed of maybe around 50 kilometers per hour or less, or as stipulated by the local laws in that country. Okay. Something else now, when it comes to survey and survival, you being top notch. Now, something else is you need to secure your variables and maintain situational awareness, especially in new areas. Now, this is for those who are going to do camping, or those who have pickups, or as they call them, bakkies in South Africa. You need to secure your belongings, your variables. Make sure you don't put your variables on the carriage, whether on top of your car or at the bend, your bakkie bed. Make sure you don't put your variables there. Have them inside the enclosed cabin. And also, if you are like driving in new areas, like in the new towns, don't go opening your windows anyhow. There are phone snatchers. Although I didn't see that common in the countries that I traveled, but especially here in Kenya, in Nairobi, we do have phone snatchers. They are going to snatch your phone. So when you come to Nairobi, just make sure your windows are closed. Make sure your surrounding, you are aware of your surrounding, even when you are walking and your phone is not well hid, like you're not hiding your phone properly, they're going to snatch your phone. So you need to be aware of your environment, need to be aware of people who are around you, especially when you are in new areas. Point number 4, resourceful roadside solutions. Now, this is whereby you need to learn the DIY, do it yourself. When I talk about resourceful roadside solutions, this is what I mean. You need to implement smart fuel management. This is whereby you can carry extra fuel, and also reliable stops and where you're going to fuel your vehicle. In my research, when I was preparing to go to South Africa, there's another group also. There's another group that did a tour from Kenya. Sorry for that. There's another group that did a tour from Kenya all the way to Cape Town. And do you know what happened? This group, they were using a Prado TX, Land Cruiser Prado TX. When they were in Tanzania, remember I told you Tanzania is a very big country. They had shortage of fuel, and they were stalled on the way, and it was late night, very night. They had to go online because they would try and stop vehicles. Not a single vehicle stopped, which of course I understand. You're not going to stop at 10 p.m. In the middle of a forest to help a stranger. So what they did, they went online. They have a very huge online following, and they were able to ask for help. And few people contacted people who were in Tanzania, and help was sent, fuel was sent using a motorbike. So when you're driving to different countries, you need to make sure you have enough fuel. In our case, we used a Nissan X-Trail that has a relatively small fuel tank, I think around 70 liters, but this was our hack. In every petrol station we came across, we made sure we fueled our vehicle. And again, in our trips, the way we had segmented our trip, we had segmented our trips into a distance of 500 kilometers to 700 kilometers a day. The Nissan X-Trail can comfortably handle around 550 to 600 kilometers on a full tank. So what this meant is that every morning, before we could start our journey, we would make sure we have one full tank. And this guaranteed us that it's going to cover us 500 to 600 kilometers with that one tank. So if in that day we were covering a distance of like 800, for example, the one we covered from Nairobi to Dodoma, which was way above 800 kilometers, we knew that we will need around 2 tanks or 1.5 tanks. So what we did, we covered the first tank, that was all the way to past Arusha, I think Bambat. Then from there we topped up the tank so as to enable us to reach to Dodoma. Okay, so you really need to do a research about the fuel capacity of your vehicle. So if it has a smaller capacity, you can make sure you can carry extra fuel. Just buy those recommended jerry cans for carrying fuel, so that you don't find yourself in trouble along the way. Also, don't just fuel anywhere. Try and make sure you fuel on reliable petrol stations. And as per my own views, when you are here in Kenya, when you travel to Kenya, I would recommend Rubis petrol station. I would recommend Total. Rubis should be your first priority. Rubis, Total, then which other one? Tosha petrol station, Astro petrol station, Shell, and any other mainstream petrol station. Okay, but those are just my own preferences. You may have your own preferences, or you may be of contrary opinion. It is allowed. Okay, so don't crucify me. And in countries like South Africa, as per my own views, I preferred fueling at Engine, then Total, then others. Okay, so you should have your own preferences and your tastes. Remember, I said pre-trip. You need to do a pre-trip. That was the first point. Preparation, perfection. That is where you are supposed to do your research in every country. How much fuel? What is the price of fuel? and which are the best fueling stations. Okay, now we move on to the next point at the Resourceful roadside solutions. DIY, this is what I do it yourself. DIY minor vehicle repairs. This is whereby you need to have basic tools and essential spare parts. In my car, I had some essential spare parts. I had carried extra brake pads. Remember, I did a total distance of 14,000 kilometers. So I had carried extra brake pads. I had carried extra coolant, that is. I had carried extra water. I had carried extra, what else? I had a fan belt, and I also had the crucial tools. Yeah. Remember me, if you have checked my videos, if you have checked my channel, I do DIY videos. I do DIY videos, and one thing you're going to notice is that I know how to change brake pads. I know how to do service to a vehicle. So this came in hand when you're doing. This came in hand when I did my trip to South Africa. So you really need to know how to have those DIY tricks. And you can just go to YouTube and watch those DIY tricks. Something else, you need to embrace the spontaneous detours and local recommendations for hidden gems. Now, in my case, if there is something I know I did not do it, and if you have watched my videos, you have realized is that I did not do hidden gems. I did not do local detours. I did not do that. The reason why is I was on time constraint. My time was limited, and I needed to do this trip in 20 to 22 days, of which I managed to do it in 22 days. So if I had to take detours, if I had to do hidden gems, for real, for sure, that whole trip would have taken me more than a month, probably 2 months, and I didn't have that time at my disposal. Remember, each day spent, it was an amount spent. And on average, we are spending around 150 to 160 US dollars. So that means added extra days meant added costs. Okay. So, but in my next trip, I'm going to plan another trip. I'm planning to use a flight to South Africa, and then from there, I'll hire a proper 4x4, probably for 3 or 4 weeks, whereby I'm going to tour the whole of South Africa. And probably I'll enter Botswana and Namibia. I'll do those countries. I'll do Botswana, I'll do Namibia, I'll do South Africa, I'll do Lesotho and Eswatini, probably for 3 weeks. And at that time, I'll be able to visit different communities. I'll be able to take detours, and I'll be able to do hidden gems just for you, my people. And if you haven't subscribed, guys, please make sure you subscribe. Before I give you the last point, make sure you subscribe. I'm giving you a minute to do that. If you have watched this video, if you have liked this video to this point, please make sure you subscribe, hit that notification bell, and I'll appreciate. Please do it. I'm giving you some seconds to do it. Okay, thank you. Now that you have subscribed, let me give you the last point. The last point is cultural immersion and respect. Cultural immersion and respect. What I mean by this is engaging with local communities for unique experiences and insight. This is something I did not do in my trip, as I had highlighted in the previous in the previous point. This is whereby you're supposed to engage with the local communities. I did not do that. And remember, this one also, it needs a lot of time. For you to engage with the community, you do the activities, you need to attend. If it's a church, if you are Christian, you attend a church. If you are Muslim, you attend. You go to the mosque and the like, other religion also. You attend the local weddings, dowry sessions, abalio, all those local events. You really need to do that, and that is something I'm going to do in my next trip, and I'll make sure I have enough time for that. And also local experiences. They're going to give you all those experiences. Another point under that is we need to respect local customs. You need to respect local customs, traditions, and photography etiquette. Now, when we talk about respecting local customs, like if you go, like here in Kenya, in Mombasa, the coastal region, people wear, I would say, half naked. Like if it's for the ladies, they'll have a top, a half top, that is showing, or probably they just wear a bikini or maybe something, a top bra and nothing here, and probably just a small bikini, and parts of their thighs and the legs are all exposed. When you go to the coast, don't go there and crucify those people. That is their culture. That is how they dress. If you're coming from Nairobi and you dress modesty, or you dress modestly, don't go crucifying them. Respect their customs. That is how they dress. Remember, that is them and there is you. You wear the way you feel you're comfortable and the way your customs allow you. Okay, if you go there and you find people are eating using their hands, they're scooping food from the plate using their hands, please respect their customs. That is their custom, and it's how they have been doing it's how they have been living. You, if you are modest and if you are westernized, you can get cutlery, you can get spoon, you can get a spade, you can get whatever you need. Ask for it, they are going to give you. Like if you visit China, I've never been to China, I would want one day to visit China, and you find they're using those chopsticks. Are they called? Yeah, chopsticks, those ones. Kindly respect that. If you can't use the chopstick, ask for a spoon. So now the other one point at cultural immersion and respect is you need to support local businesses and contribute responsibly to communities you visit. Now in my previous during my process, in my preparations for the visit, I did watch several YouTube channels, and I saw there is a certain YouTuber who did the same trip, and one mistake they did was I mean, something that I learned was that they bought most of the commodities that they needed along the journey from here in Kenyan markets and the supermarkets. But along the way, they realized that the same products that they needed, they are readily accessible and available in other countries. So if, for example, you're driving from Kenya, buy what you need in your first day, because in your second day, you're going to be in Tanzania. You're going to buy what you need in your second day in Tanzania. And that is what we actually did. Though there are some differences in pricing, but the point is you're going to promote the local economy of the host economy with the countries that you are passing through. You're going to leave a lasting solution, a lasting smile to those people. For example, you can buy souvenirs. I bought so many souvenirs from the roadside sellers. If you find mama selling oranges, you go buy oranges from them. If you find anything that is beautiful, a cloth, something that you like, just go and buy, promote them, let them know that you are from Kenya, and they are going to be happy. They sold a certain commodity to a Kenyan tourist, and the family is going to sleep happy because they shall have a food on their table. So guys, without much further ado, I hope you have enjoyed this whole trip. Hope you have this whole video. If you have, please make sure you subscribe, hit that notification bell. And guys, guess what? I have some good news. I have some notice. We are rebranding. And the main reason why we are rebranding is because the channel is growing. Right now we are approaching 4,000 subscribers, and I'm so happy for each and every one of you who have watched my videos, who have subscribed. Mbarikiwe sana. Now we are rebranding to Route Adventures, and this one is going to it's going to give a clear it's going to encompass what we do as a group. And in this group, in this channel, I'm going to introduce newer faces. You're going to start seeing new faces in the channel. In my next trips that I'm going to do, they are going to stop being solo trips. That is why it's going to change from Paul Having Feuds to now Route Adventure. So guys, hope you have enjoyed everything. Please make sure you subscribe, hit that notification bell, and see you in the next video.